Hello everybody, and welcome to Gaming with Mr. Poopy. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Moza R5 settings for Forza Motorsport. We're going to be looking at the Pithouse settings and the settings within Forza Motorsport itself. I originally posted a video with settings. I have deleted that video because it was just garbage. I was frustrated and posted that. And I've done some more research. I mean, the amount of research and videos I've had to watch just to get this thing set up properly, honestly, is infuriating. Most games have a good default when it comes to force feedback. You know, maybe you tweak some things here and there. But Forza Motorsport force feedback settings are just atrocious. There's nothing more to say about that. So I will give credit where credit is due. The video that I had found, I stumbled upon a smaller YouTube channel by the name of MetzVr, METZVR. I'll have a link in the description so you can click on it for that video. So I will give credit to where credit is due for his settings in Forza Motorsport. But here, let me go over this real quick with you. We don't want to make this too long and dragged out. I want to get straight to the point. Maximum steering angle I have set to 720. I don't want too much turnies. Some people like the full 900. I like 720. I think it's a little in the middle. If you set it to, 360, that's more for like formula cars. It's very sensitive, because you're not turning the wheel as much. But whatever. That's a personal preference. I like it at 720. The R5 base, I have the feedback set to 100% because, why not? I want the full capabilities of the base itself at 100. These don't really matter too much for steering, but whatever. I got my throttle brake. I have no clutch. I use the paddle shifters on the steering wheel. Onward! Basic settings. So again, steering angle, 720. Road sensitivity is set to 6. We've got force feedback intensity at 100. Wheel speed at 40%. Wheel spring strength at 5%. Wheel damper at 50%. If you want detailed explanations, I'm not going over all that. There's other videos that explain all this stuff. Again, those can be tweaked to your liking. But what I have it set to, maximum output torque limit, 90%. Hands-off protection, I have that off. I mean, I don't need that. Anyway, natural inertia, 100. Wheel friction, 15. Speed-dependent dampening, 40. Start point of speed-dependent dampening, and 100 kilometers. That's those. Equalizer, I have not touched any of this. I've left this the way it is. Same thing with force feedback curve and miscellaneous. That's just the way it is. These are all the way they are. Ta-ta-ta. Or your engine RPM indicator and all that nonsense. So those are the basics there. Obviously, your brake and throttle and all that have nothing to do with force feedback, but whatever. So those are the Moza Pithouse settings that I have in my R5. Now, jumping into Forza Motorsport, we have to go over those settings. Because there's just settings upon settings upon settings upon settings upon more settings. I'm probably going to have to turn the volume down in this because it's probably going to be a little loud. I apologize. Here, let's move this Alright. As soon as this loads up, we'll lower the volume. Yeah, man. Alright, play. Settings. Let's drop this audio down. Bloop. There we go. Okay. Now, remember, very important, just basic stuff here first, is throttle, unassisted, whatever. Anyway, steering, simulation. You want that set to simulation. If you're using a controller, you can put it on normal. I have traction control on, stability control on, ABS on. Most cars have those. So if you don't want those, that's up to you, but I have them on. You could set them to sport, which is kind of in the middle, but I just have them set to on. Anyway, that's to your liking, whatever you like to do. Now, let's see here. Input. Every freaking time I get into this game, I always have to set it onto Moza R5. I don't know why, it just will not save that. Every time I go in here, I have to manually select Moza R5. Annoying. So, you might have to do that as well. Advanced input. We're going to scroll down here. Here's all the important settings. Vibration scale is set to 75. Force feedback scale is set to 110. Steering self-alignment, 80. Mechanical trail scale, 160. Pneumatic trail scale, 75. Road feel scale, 100. All these scales. Load sensitivity is 50. Wheel dampening, center spring, and dynamic damper behavior all set to 10. These are the default. Steering sensitivity and linearity are set at 50. Do not touch those. Those two are no-nos because I've messed with them, and trust me, it screws things up. But the ones that you can tweak here, so, you know, the dampening scale, spring scale, damper behavior, you want to keep these on the lower end. Again, you can tweak them to your liking, but you want these on the lower end. Load sensitivity and road feel scale, you know, the rest of these are the pretty much the basic of where you want them. You can turn them up or down as much as you like, but I would say keep them somewhere around this area. I've tweaked them a little bit, but that's the basics for your force feedback. Originally, I had everything set to its highest, maxed out everything, except for these. And the weird thing was, it felt okay. It wasn't the worst feeling force feedback, but obviously it wasn't very accurate or informative for the race. But again, so these settings are fantastic, at least for me. These are wonderful for this R5 base. I can finally play this game and feel like it's actually giving me the information I need while I'm racing. So there you go. Those are the settings. Quick, easy, simple, to the point. And again, with your input, every time you go in, I don't know if it does with all wheels, but at least with my Moza R5, I have to constantly go in here and select Moza R5. And if you do have an R5, you're going to have to assign all this stuff here. So you're going to have to click on here, hit your gas, click on here, hit your brake, steering, click on here, and rotate your wheel until it recognizes it, and then your pedal shift buttons here for shift up and down. So you got to go in here and manually add everything in there. You got to make sure you have a pause button. So that's a requirement. And then you can, you know, change all your other stuff for cameras, looking left, right, back, all that fun stuff. You know, however much stuff you want to add in there onto your wheel. So there you go. That is the Moza R5 settings. And they work nicely. It makes the game much more playable, and it feels closer to a sim. Still not quite iRacing or Assetto Corsa level of sim racing, but it's close. They're closer than they used to be. It's still more simcade, and the multiplayer scene, I think, in this game is still a little messy. People are all over the place, but that's Forza. So, there you have it. I hope you liked the video. If so, give it a like. And if you're enjoying my content, please subscribe and have yourselves a wonderful day. Bye-bye.